Moving forward and starting about Get Boarded internship, this project is going to be about opportunities and how we prepare students for opportunities. So while you are participating in this opportunity, the things that you will be doing will be preparing you for opportunities, and we'll be doing some creative things by with the frameworks that are around the opportunities and talk about the readiness of it. So if you know what is happening around, like we are all under a lockdown wherever we are in the world. So we are living in an era of a lockdown. We are living in a coronavirus, crisis. So what happened is we have an industrial lockdown, which was the first impact of the crisis. Along with the crisis, which we are still in, it's not a the crisis is not over. There is no, we are not in the time where we can say that okay, the crisis recovery is happening, but right now we are adapting to the crisis. So once the crisis is over, the post crisis era will kick in, which will be about recovery. So technological transformation is already happening in education, in work areas, in entertainment, like digital entertainment and other things, and most importantly wellness. So how will these uh, industries, how will these domains adapt or transform after this era will be something that is defined, that is going to be defined now. And then in a post recovery phase, there will be some changes which will be ongoing, and there will be some changes which will be rolled back to the previous state, which will define the new normal of future 2020 and beyond. So if we talk about some of the things here, specifically about the crisis, the Chinese word on how they describe a crisis is used with two brushstrokes. One brushstroke stands for danger and the another one for opportunity. So what it means is, in a crisis, be aware of the danger, but also recognize the opportunities that are shifting. What is the trends that are coming up? So talking about that, what would opportunities of the future be like? So if we talk about pre-COVID era, like if the coronavirus was not here, these were the trends and buzzwords which were already there, making their own new industries, making their own job roles and titles. So IoT, Internet of Things, user experience, big data analytics, quantum computing, 3D printing, mobility, mobile, virtual reality, augmented reality. So these are already the new jobs which were coming out, which were defining the future roles and opportunities, future roles and responsibilities for you guys. For example, Tesla was working already on SpaceX missions, and space engineering was a new domain that we were seeing taken up and growing. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, climate activities were a lot in demand. So some of the things that are impacted with this crisis have accelerated the demand, catalyzed the demand, and some of the things are you know uh, pulled with demand, like the demand has grown less, and some of the fields are completely out of the blue taken, like remote HR function. So remote work is being transformed. For example, there was an article about TCS going 25% of their staff in future will be completely remote. So there are industries who are adopting and transforming themselves in such a way that there is no rollback that is going to happen after the crisis. Wearables, IoT, mobility, first response architects, healthcare architects, smart city planning, and another interesting domain is blockchain and cryptocurrencies. So the crisis has basically shown us what is going to happen, or what are the faults, what are the breaking areas of what particular industry. Like what are the things where our medical systems break, what are the things, what are the areas where our financial systems break. Like if you are aware of the market crashes and volatility in currencies and oil prices and all. So blockchain could be the future of it. And when everybody is moving digital, the digital systems are being very progressive or being adopted at a unfathomable pace, cybersecurity will be a area of focus for the future. Digital communities will be one area where fake news, responsible journalism will again take center stage. So these are the shifts that we are expecting to see in a post coronavirus era. How the technology will change will be basically impacted with short term trends, where some of the trends will just push up in demand for a short term and they are expected to roll back. Then there will be long term ramifications or implications of technology, like digital systems, wearables, cryptocurrencies. These will get a better adoption and they will be the long term trend setters. And then there are some matured adoptions which are already there, which are working, which are the future, which was already defined but has increased the rate of adoption. So more people are working with Zoom, more people are doing teleconferencing, more people are adopting the digital systems of communication. So these were already there, these were already mature markets, but now their adoption will be much higher than the physical counterpart. And then there are short-term pulled trends, like some things which will be reduced in demands. The same way the tech landscapes are changing, the career landscapes are also changing. So if we talk about the short-term demands, like spike in demands, internships, digital remote internships is one area that you can relate to. Then remote working is coming in. Your medical volunteering, they will be having short-term demands, and there will be other impacts also. For example, the graduation gap year. So people or students who will not be able to secure a job here, they will be, not by choice, but forced to take a graduation gap year unless they, own their skills, they get out into the market, show a demand, because we cannot really create opportunities. It's not a small or a short-term objective. Even if the government is involved, it's not something that you just decide that, okay, let's open more companies, let's open more jobs, and the next day the jobs are there. With the same thing, job sabbaticals will be there, like how some of the industries will lay off workers, how people who are impacted by the coronavirus by themselves will take job sabbaticals even if they are not forced to do so. So for health reasons, people might take 3 months off, or to take care of their children, to take care of their elderly. So job sabbaticals will see a rise in demand. Then there are long-term trend expectations like remote work, online volunteering, which will take more focus and which will be the new trends for the future. And there are matured adoption like freelance working. Freelance is already a gig economy and a new market where people are already established. So it's not a new thing, and it is not having an impact also. But freelance will be a major matured trend which will just increase in popularity or increase in adoption. And short-term pull trends will be like work study option, international student exchanges, for example, physical volunteering, for example. Because of the travel lockdowns and other border control measures, the trends of having international exchanges, international scholarships and all will reduce. Work study options, scholarship funds that the universities were giving away will be focused towards response or crisis response activities. So a lot of changes are expected. If we understand the change well, then we will be able to create a response which is better suited to the current times and the current market situation. So what are the response? How do we make student opportunities and the impact of it into a crisis time frame and prepare a response? So in terms of two things that we can do in short term and long term time frame, we will have to create a response and then we will have to activate a response. So if you see in the screen, like the crisis in the short term will have some knockout effect and some derailment effects. So knockout factors will be the factors like if you are looking for a job right now, if you are entering the job market right now, nobody is going to hire. Because of the impact, the industries are closed. The HR function is basically focused on the operational, the critical operations. So how to maintain or how to manage the existing workforce, what new policies are to be made. So nobody is focused on new recruitments or new hirings, right? Innovation comes into picture once your business is running and stable enough. So you will not be able to apply or find jobs. The derailment factors will be medium to short term, which will be like, okay, what happens to the job offers that are already rolled out? So most of you or many of you would have job offers in your hand, but will they be postponed or will they be revoked? What will happen to those? There's an uncertainty in the market. Okay, so these are our risk factors. How can we prevent or minimize the impact of these disruptions on learning, on engagement, and on dropping out of the processes? So in the medium term, what we will assess or what we will come back after the crisis will be more focused towards the potential. Okay, what can we do now? What are the scarce technical skills which are in the market available, and what to do with them? What are the critical behavioral attributes which we can get into our company? So for example, in a post crisis era, in a recession, the hirings will be even harder. They would want to hire people who can adapt to multiple roles, who have behavioral attributes which are more multi-talented, multifaceted talents. So how can you add those scarce technical skills, or how can you have inclinations which can increase your future employability? And then in the long term, like the new normal or the post recovery era, you will see a new type of a opportunity pipeline, as we saw the change in market restructure or talent landscape restructure. And also about the future capabilities, like, are you available and ready for alternative career choices? So for example, the skills that you have acquired right now, are they suitable for the jobs of future, or do we have to reskill or replan our strategies? So if we talk the same, if we continue on this, let me give you an analogy. Like the student roadmap towards an opportunity, if you measure in terms of a distance, the student skills, what you want to do is you have to take an opportunity. So there is a distance between where you are and where you want to be. The distance can be categorized as the target opportunity that you want, what are the skill factors for that target opportunity, and what are the skill gaps between what you currently know and what is the demand going to be. After that, we estimate the time of arrival to the student to the market. The time of arrival basically is what is the gap and how fast can you cover that gap? How fast can you learn the skills that are required for that opportunity? And the third part is about what are the sources, what are the resources that you would have at your disposal? Like how can we help in terms of tech skills? What are the new tech skills that we can take? What are the new soft skills that we can take? What are the career oriented trainings that we can take in order to increase our professional aptitude? And what are the projects that we can do which will help us to show our experience or our intent into that particular field? So what GetBoarded does as a company, as a project, is we help students identify and enable to move into opportunities. Okay, so we take you around that journey and we help you with the resources to find the opportunities. And right now what we are doing is we are adopting or adapting to the opportunities and how they are going to change in the next coming market. Like all of the things, if they go remote, what will happen in the post crisis era? So these are the things that we are going to do, or we are developing as a profiling system. Now talking about how far can the talent go, can the student go? That when we spoke about the distance between the current situation and the target opportunity, the main things in question will be your ability. That means your functional skills, your relevant knowledge, and your current performance, how fit you are with the opportunity or the present skill set needed. Then aspiration, which will be, are you interested in that target career, or are you even able to move to that target career? Mobility will be defining, like the physical mobility. At the moment, you can be doing this internship remotely, no matter where you are from. But when the market opens up and there is an opportunity somewhere, do you need to really travel to that office? Do you really need to move or relocate into a particular role or a client side or this kind of a challenge? This will come under your aspiration. Do you want to move? Can you move? And the third part would be the attitude, like behavioral attitudes and cognitive complexity. Can you commit to the target career? Like even if you are offered something, what would be your commitment towards that particular role? And the second part, when we say about the time to market, like how fast can you recover, that will be defined by your agility, adaptability, and alertness. So agility, like transition ability, readiness, and confidence level. How ready are you for that particular role? What is your confidence level? If you know whether you are ready and you can present that well. In adaptability, it will be more like emotional intelligence, resilience, and learning aptitude. For example, if you are offered a job as a UX designer, but now the role has changed into a UI requirement more than a UX, then can you change and learn the skills that are required to switch your role? Or um, or you will be strict in what you have, what the skills you have. And the third part will be alertness. Alertness is like there is already a market which is saturated. There are not many opportunities. There are few options available. So how alert are you? How active are you to grab those opportunities? Along with that, critical thinking is one attribute that will be very much important, because misinformation, fake news, depressed societal language is all around us. So can you really filter out what is really important or critical for you, or do you move with the herd? Can you do something innovative in this time to prepare yourself for the opportunity? Like if there is a startup, can you jump into that, take that risk? Or if you can open a startup, can you think of alternative career options? Can you take up of make what news is around, and can you predict what is going to happen? So these are the kind of things that you need to understand in order to respond fast to the possible opportunities. So let's talk now about analytics, like how GetBoarded can help you into quantitatively talk about the things that we have spoken about. Like all of the things that we spoke about right now in the career were more subjective, were more qualitative. So how can we define a process to quantitatively measure the metrics associated with a successful student market fit? So these are the 6 areas that we will speak about in today's session. The first part is going to be about learning. So what are your current skills? Or let me talk about the whole dashboard first. So for example, the whole situation that we spoke about, ability, agility, adaptability, and other such stuff. If we can present your skills in a manner, and if we can evaluate you on time readiness for future and skill readiness for future, then we can guide or we can provide you better opportunities. As a recommendation, we can provide you insights into your own persona, your own skills, both soft skills and hard skills, in order to make the right decision. So this is the whole concept of this project. This is in one summary. This is what we are going to do. There will be detailed reports like learning. So what skills do you have? Tech skills. What is your confidence level in those tech skills? What soft skills do you have? And what is your confidence level in those soft skills? What is your peer feedback, your peer confidence in your soft skills? Then what are the other scarce skills or language skills or life skills do you have? and what are your career aspirations. Then we'll speak about preparedness, like what are the career options or what are the roles that you are actually prepared for. Okay. Then we speak about the skill gap. So if you are being mapped to one particular functional area, for example, if you are a data scientist, can you take those same skills and learn machine learning? Can you take those same skills and work into artificial intelligence? Can you take those same skills and work in Tableau or R or other such things? So we will speak about those here and map a gap which will be based on the functional area that you select. In a similar manner, you will have a time gap, like, okay, these are the skills that you want. This is the functional area that you want. So how much of time do I need to train myself into these particular, to cover those gaps? So are you available right now? Are you going to be ready in short term or are you going to be ready in medium term? These are the things that we will get into this report. Then we speak about the adaptability and ability. So ability will be, judged by the factor about your creative ability versus your analytical abilities. So if you know about the right side and left side of the brain, one of them dominates your creative behavior and other dominates your analytical behavior. So a creative profile would be more suitable towards, UX roles, UI roles, creative communication, visual communication, uh, these kind of things. And analytical profiles are more suitable towards statistics, numbers, coding, programming. So these are the people who are logical. In the same manner, the adaptability is more about stability versus agility. So a stable person will be more, successful in a functional area where they get deeper into a technology like Unix, SQL, maybe even blockchain, where the basic concepts are going to be the same, but you just keep on researching and evaluating, going deeper and deeper into the same technology. But the landscape doesn't change that often. Oracle is still Oracle, be it version 1 or version 11. So the basic concept will still remain the same. The only thing is it expands and allows you to do more with it. But there are some people who would have a highly agile, learning curve, and they'll be easily bored with, oh, I am, working with SQL for last 10 years. I don't want to do that. These are the people who will be more successful into adapting, changing technologies like front end frameworks. So Angular 1, then Vue, React, these things come up. The front end part changes very quickly. Like action scripting, Flash, they are the things that were really hot at one point of time, and now they are obsolete technologies. So who are the people who love these kind of challenges, love this kind of learning curve? And then the last one comes on to alternate career choices. This is like ontology, if you know about it. What skills you have, and using the same skills, what are the possible career options that you can take up? So the same skill set can offer you multiple roles, multiple target areas to work in. How do we move, from one to another, or how we decide between one to other? What are our career options? So these are the things that we will be doing in this internship. These are actually the Tableau screenshots that I have shown you. These are the projects that we will be undertaking, and you will be forming teams onto it. I am almost done. I wanted to take 30 minutes to describe this about the objective of the internship, what project we are doing, why we are doing it, and what is the value that you will get out of it in return.